Now let's understand inheritance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reuse the code that I used earlier. So I'm going to copy person class which I used earlier, and we'll be defining a new file now. So let's create new file. Let's save it as 04demo.ts, and let's uncomment the code that was written earlier. So what we have is a person class. There are three members that we have. We have a constructor expecting three parameters. One of them is default, and then we have let's say number, name, and address, as in maybe data collected and assigned to the individual members. Now what we need to do is, just like person has one function, maybe three members and one constructor, so, these are common properties that one can have in case of maybe let's say employee as well. However, employee can have number, name, and address, and maybe let's say department details. So what we can do is we can inherit this person details into maybe employee. So one more time, we can define a class. Let's call it as employee. Now employee, just like in any object-oriented programming language, we can inherit the what we call it as existing classes for reusability. What we can do is we can have class employee created, and we can simply say it extends something like person. And then what we can do is we can start using now person's properties and functions with the help of employee class objects. So we have a reusability. So whatever belongs to person, now employee also has it. But then there are few things to understand. Since the person has a constructor with three parameters over here, what if employee also needs to assign some sort of, you can say, members? Take an example. We have something like, let's say, department name as in another maybe member here, which is of type string. And I really expect whenever employee gets created, the department name needs to be assigned. So ultimately, if I just go for defining a constructor here, and in the constructor function, if I expect department to be created, so let's say department name expected as in string, and then I'll say this dot department name is equal to department name. I'll expect as a parameter. The only concern that we have is you have defined so-called maybe constructor. The only issue is now whenever employees object is going to get created, ultimately person's object will also be created. But person's object creation will require number, name, and address like members. So certain things that we have to understand is we will have to call super when we call for, or when we create employees object, we have to call super inbuilt function, which is going to give a call to base, what we call it as constructor, and then base constructor expects some parameters. So either you hardcode the parameters or you yourself can expect the parameters in here. So either you can expect the parameters in employees constructor and pass those parameters to super, simply so that we can have the constructor initialized for person, or object initialized for person. Otherwise, you can very well pass on the hard-coded values if that works for you. So I'll just expect three parameters now. Maybe I expect same sort of parameters. I'll expect number, name, and maybe address. So I'll expect from user number, name, and address. Address I'll keep it at the last because it is default parameter. So I have department name asked first, then number, then name, and then address. And then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to use here certain parameters like let's pass on department name. Sorry, we need to pass on number, name, and address. So number, name, and address as in parameters. So whenever base constructor gets called, I'll pass on these three values over here. And maybe what we can do is after the constructor gets called, we will just have the current member initialization after that. So you call employees constructor, we'll call base constructor, and we will pass on these values to the super, to the base. And then we will initialize the department property and we are free to use it now. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some feature like simple printing all the contents. So let's call print function, or let's define a print function. This print function is simply going to log on a console I'll use one property from base and one property from derived, just for the sake of checking how references are made, or how can we use base functionalities. So I have an intention of using something like this dot, and now you will find out I have access to number, name, address, and department name as well. So I'll be using, let's say, this dot name. I'll put up welcome, the person's name, and I'll mention here to, and then I'll mention here something like to the department, and I'll mention here department name, this dot department name. Okay, so I've used one base property and I've used current classes department name property. And now let's create employee class object here. So I'm going to define let E1 or employee1 equal to new employee, and now we'll have to pass on 4 parameters. Last one is optional. I'll pass on 1000 number or department name as in IT. I'll pass on string number like 1, name as in, let's say, ABC, and address as in Chennai. Let's see what we get now. And whatever employee1 dot print function does, we'll simply print it on the console. This should return me void, so I'll mention void as in return type of this function. Okay, done. Now let's try to transpile this code into JavaScript. So what I'm going to do is go to console and use tsc and specify 04 demo ts. Let's see if it can transpile. It's done. And let's use now node 04 demo.js, and you will see what it prints on a console is welcome ABC to IT as a department name. So now if we go back to code, if you look at the JavaScript code it has authored, it's a huge code, which means instead of we writing this kind of a creepy code in JavaScript, which is around 41 lines of code for inheritance in case of JavaScript, instead of that you'll find out it's easy to author so-called this much of code, which is understandable, which is similar to C#, similar to Java, and then we can use this TypeScript to generate the JavaScript, which is ES5, ES6, basis JavaScript. So this is where the demonstration I'm going to end, and then we will quickly look at what we have covered. Before that, let me jump to Notepad just to sum up everything. So we saw something like super keyword to be used in case of first of all extends needs to be used, and super in case of inheritance. So what we have discussed so far, these few things, and then let's go to slideshow. So we had a very simple agenda and we covered almost everything that we planned. So after demonstrations, the takeaway from the session that we discussed is, we talked about why exactly TypeScript is required. So we saw TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. So those who are familiar to writing code in Java, writing code in C#, they can very well use TypeScript for writing or generating the JavaScript code by doing transpilation. Then we saw what sort of tools and infrastructure is required. So we did do the installation of Node, NPM, TypeScript, and VS Code. Editor can be anything. And then we saw a typical way of coding, compilation, and execution. Then we authored our first program, rather we authored many programs today. Then JavaScript and TypeScript synergy. So TypeScript code is that way very much readable and understandable to the Java and C# and C++ programmers. And when it comes to JavaScript, the transpiled JavaScript code, you will find out it's very creepy when it comes to OOP features. Then certain features that we saw, writing a function, then writing optional and what we call it as default parameters. Some keywords we saw something called as let keyword only. Then how do we use a question mark for optional parameters? How do we use equal to for default parameters? How do we write classes using constructor function? And how do we define inheritance? So this is where we are going to end